guys, today we're making peanut butter cookies. Peanut butter is one of my guilty pleasures, so adding that into a cookie is absolute heaven for me. This recipe is so easy to make. It takes 10 minutes to prepare and then just 15 minutes to bake in the oven, so anybody can make this. And it's a great way, I think, for everybody around the house to kind of get together and do something fun, and of course they taste delicious too, so bonus, bonus, bonus. So here's how you make them. I know a lot of you have been, watching from the US and Canada. Hi! So I decided to print out the recipe and also to add on the cups and everything and all the measurements that you use. Obviously I'm in the UK, so I printed them out for myself because I'm not used to using cups. But you'll find this full recipe in my Instagram post. Just scroll down and you'll find it there. But I thought it might be handy if I say the measurements as I'm going along. So I'm using one of these big electric mixers, but you could use a hand whisk, you could use an electric whisk, you could use a wooden spoon. This just makes it all happen a little bit faster. So I'm going to add in my peanut butter first. I'm using smooth peanut butter, but you could use crunchy peanut butter too. It's really just what you prefer. There's 180 grams, which is 3/4 of a cup. So that goes in first. Take a little bit of leftover. Love peanut butter. The next then is light brown sugar. I'm using 100 grams, which is half a cup. That goes in there. And then next is softened butter. I've cut these up into little cubes. I'm using unsalted butter, but you could use salted butter if that's all that you have at home. If you are using unsalted butter like I am, just make sure you add in a pinch of salt into this recipe. This is 55 grams, which is 1/4 of a cup. And that goes. And then the last thing I put in is an egg, a large egg. And then popping on this onto like a medium whisk. And while that's mixing together, I'm going to pop plain flour, which is all-purpose flour. And I've got 85 grams of this, which is 3/4 of a cup. That goes in. Then this is baking soda, which is the last ingredient that you will need. This helps the cookies to rise a little bit. I'm putting in 1 teaspoon. I just want to mix all those together so that the soda gets well mixed into the flour. And it's the soda, of course, that is the rising agent. I think I already said that. Okay, let's see how this is doing. So this is the consistency that you want. You know, that the peanut butter starts melting a little bit. It all gets quite creamy. I've got a little butter up at the edges, which I'm just going to push back. Again, a wooden spoon. So see that butter at the edges like that? You just want to get that popped into the middle. Woo! Where did that go? Okay, that's staying on the ground. Put this back on. And let me just mix that in. And then I'm going to start adding my flour and the baking soda, which is mixed together. Okay, so just tip this in while it's all going, bit by bit. And that'll just take a minute or two. Now, while that's finishing off, I'm going to get my baking tray ready. So this is just like a regular baking tray like this. And greaseproof paper or parchment paper. I'm going to show you a little trick that I do. I just wet my fingers with a little bit of olive oil, like that, and I put it on the edge, on the 4 corners of the baking tray like that. Put my parchment paper on top, and it sticks the paper down. Because sometimes when you're baking cookies or whatever it is that you put on parchment paper, and it starts flying away in the oven, this will make sure that it all stays down and it just becomes easier to work with. So just tap that all out. You're going to get this up to high for like 20 seconds. And we're done. Now, there's not one person in the whole world that can't do that. Okay, so that's all mixed together. I mean, they're just the easiest things to make. The thing is that when you start baking, you know, cookies like this and they become so easy to make, you just can't stop making them then. And there's nothing better, is there, in the afternoon when you're making yourself a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, that you open up your cookie jar and you've got a homemade cookie. It's just so nice. Okay, so this is what the mixture looks like when it's done. Okay, so I'll give you a good look into my bowl. There you go. Okay, that's how it looks like. There's little bits of flour around the edges that the mixer just can't get to. So I'm just going to finish it off with my wooden spoon to make sure it's all incorporated into the mixture. One thing I forgot to put in was a little pinch of salt. So what I'm going to do is just pop that in now. And the reason why I'm putting in the pinch of salt in here is because I use unsalted butter. And also my peanut butter isn't salted because I got the healthy version. But to be honest, I also love the unhealthy version of peanut butter with the sugar in it and the salt in it. Okay, so now that's perfect. Okay, the next thing we want to do is start rolling out or making the actual cookies. So I use a dessert spoon like this, and I just scoop out that amount, and then onto clean hands, I just want to roll them into small little balls like this. Okay, they look like large Maltesers right now, and then pop them on your parchment paper. Same again, and this recipe makes 18. Another Malteser. I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to show you what I do next. So once they go out like that, and you want to leave enough space in between each one, because when they go into the oven, obviously they'll rise and everything. But let me show you what I'm going to do next. Using a fork, press down in it that way, and then this way, to make lovely ridges on it. Same here. If you love sea salt, then pop a little sprinkle of sea salt on top of them too, for that extra kind of salty crunch you put on top. So then this goes into a preheated oven, 180 degrees Celsius, which I think is 375 degrees Fahrenheit, or gas mark 4. One thing I will say when I was testing out this recipe again earlier on today, was that if your oven is fan, you need to turn down the degrees by about 20. So I have a fan oven. I put it in at 180 because I have a new oven, and it was just too hot. So I put it down to 160, and then it was absolutely perfect. And they only need to bake for 15 minutes, and then let them cool on a wire rack, and they come out looking like this. How delicious! Okay, do you want me to taste one for you? Of course you do. Oh, the smell of peanut butter. They're crunchy, they're buttery, and that addictive flavour of peanut butter, and they're slightly salty. Absolute heaven. Do you know what I feel like with this? A glass of milk. Makes me feel like a kid again. Anyhow, hope you enjoy the recipe. Scroll down my Instagram page to get the full ingredients and the method, etc. And I will see you again tomorrow. Sending lots of cookie love to you.